Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie, how are you?
It's a little chaotic because we're under,
Yes,
I think, a
I know
tornado
what you mean.
warning until 9, but like also a severe thunderstorm watch warning. I don't, they keep going between all of them, so I don't even know what's happening. But other than that, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, we had that come through last night into overnight into today. And can I just tell you, like this morning, such a struggle because just hearing the storms being up all night, so didn't sleep as well. But also I live in an old house and um we've had I think they said last night that we got 4 inches of rain last night. Plus we've had like, I can't even tell you how many storms. It feels like every other day there's another massive storm coming through.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, this time of year we are used to it, but it just seems like even more than normal.
Yeah. Agree.
And so this morning we woke up to leaks everywhere. Like we had one area we knew that was causing issues. So like we fixed that area. We had a professional come in, dig up this area by the foundation. We put the stuff on it. It no longer leaks there,
That's good.
but then it leaked in all these other spots that we had no idea about. And our main window leaked on our staircase. So it was like,
Oh, no.
yeah, poor Casey was trying to mop up the basement to make sure it didn't do any damage down there. And then I was trying to clean up the window, but I also had an early morning appointment. So then trying to get that appointment, but it had flooded everywhere because we've had so much rain so quickly, um, that all the normal streets where there's not already road construction in Kansas City were now flooded. So it was just trying to get somewhere this morning was kind of insanity and frustrating.
Yeah. I don't think we've had much, like, flooding like that. It's starting to rain now. Yeah, if I get distracted too, and if you're watching, if I'm, like, look out my window or if I'm kinda looking down, I've got my, radar guy on my phone, and I'm just watching. So, there's that disclaimer. But yeah, I don't think we've had, at least my routes, not any issues with flooding. But, yeah, the sirens have been going off since last night, or not since last night, but they went off a few times last night. And this
Yeah.
morning, waking up was so hard because it was, like, black outside, and then we lost power a little bit this morning. Obviously, it's back. Um, but yeah, I agree with you. I feel like it's obviously the season, but it just seems like it's back to back to back, and, like,
And
I'm
it seems
done.
way earlier in the season too to have this
Yeah.
many. I'm not a forecaster or weatherman,
Mm-mm.
but it just to me seems like it's like I feel like April's usually showers, not storms. But
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
we
isn't that
are
the
coming up
saying?
on May.
"April showers bring May flowers."
Yes.
And they don't really say anything about the tornadoes, but, I don't feel like it's April.
No, right?
Yeah.
And I did get my flowers planted this weekend and on both my porches. However, I have a bone to pick with stupid Simon the freaking squirrel. Like, we don't live together. I don't need help planting my flowers. You've left my planters that had no flowers in them. I left the dirt in there for you to have fun with over the winter and fall, because that's normally when the damn squirrels are digging in my pots.
Yeah.
I go to do something, I come home today, and I see dirt all over the side porch and the stairs to the side porch. I walk over, I'm like, "Oh, it must have been the storms last night."
Yeah.
No, it's very clear that it was a squirrel because the new flowers that I had planted were dug up. And the dirt was dry. It was dirt, not mud. There was no water in it. So it wasn't
Okay.
water.
Crazy of me to be giving gardening tips because I don't garden, but something I learned on social media, which you probably already know this, but sprinkle cayenne pepper. Did you
Well,
know that?
so I had tried that before when we
Oh,
first moved into this house, and it didn't really work.
okay.
I shouldn't say it didn't work. It worked the day of, but it didn't work beyond that day. So I was going out sprinkling it in there. Then I got these spike things
Oh, okay.
and they dug around the spikes. And then they dug up the spikes too. So that didn't really
Who
do
knew
anything for
squirrels
me,
were so smart?
right? And then I got this these pellets that it's like oregano, cayenne, I don't know, all these smells that squirrels are supposed to hate, and they're pellets. And those do work for a few days. I just hadn't put them in there because I didn't think I needed to because they hadn't been touching my pots. Apparently, they just like fresh dirt, I guess. I don't know. But I had to clean all that up. And so,
Well, the flowers do look good. Can attest to that.
thank you.
Yeah.
I just had to repot one planter.
Freaking Simon.
I know.
Um, did you see my lighting just change a little bit?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's like extremely bright outside now.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like when there's storms and it changes colors so fast because I'm like, I don't think
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
I don't like
Um,
when the sky gets green. I don't like when it gets really still, especially if there's, a
it,
storm coming.
okay. I would say that happened last night where it was so windy and then it just stopped. Nothing was moving at all. And I was like, oh my God, Abby just said like the calm before the storm. And I was like,
Mhm.
but I hate when storms are at night and it's dark out so you can't see the sky change because then you really have no idea.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. I've been in a tornado. Have you ever been in one?
No, I've been I think like in like bad storms where the sirens go off. There was one time it's like raining sideways now. Oh my God. Um there was one time where I was with my ex. We were at his apartment at the time and we saw a rotation above us, but like nothing came of it. So that's the closest I guess I would say is we kind of saw it like start, but then it stopped and moved on. Separated way I don't know. I'm not a weather person. I don't know the terms, but we saw it kind of start to form and then it went away. So that's the closest.
Yeah. I was in one. I think I was in like first or second grade. I was pretty young, but we were coming home from my grandparents' like place and I was with my family. We thought we could get fast enough past it. And we ended up, I mean, it did pass away from us, but this is when, you know, 80s, we thought it was smart to pull to an underpass and get under the highway underpass. But now they tell you not to do that these days. They also tell you to wear seatbelts and all that kind of stuff too now. So,
It's like yeah, I don't know. My uncle called me a little bit ago and he was like, "Hello, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for asking. How are you?" And he's like, "Is it not storming so bad?" And I'm like, "No." But he was like, "Well, you got a basement, right?" And I was like, "No, I live on the top floor." And he's like, "Oh my God." But it's I mean, you figure it out in the moment, I feel like, you know?
yeah, you got to do what you got to do, but
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
yeah.
I live in Kansas City, and there's a thing that's kind of a known phenomenon here, what they call the Tonganoxie split. So there's a town in Kansas called Tonganoxie, and most of our storms are really bad storms, especially come from the west. And it Tonganoxie is just to the west of Kansas City. And there's this phenomenon that storms that hit there split. They either go to the north side or to the south side. Now, it may also be because the Missouri River kind of comes down and does a little curve there too. So it could be the river, but
Yeah.
it is a known thing here. So there, I'm not going to say there hasn't ever been a tornado here because I haven't really studied it. Um, I know there was a tornado in Ruskin, which was to the east of the city itself. But yeah,
I think my boss actually made, which I don't even wanna say this now, doesn't seem like the right time, but he made a comment, I think, earlier this year that Columbia's due for one, and I'm like, maybe let's not put that out to the
Yeah,
universe."
right?
But based on that being due for one, I'm gonna assume there was one here at some point. I don't know that it was, like, a bad one, but, not in my life, well, not in my time living here have I
There was a
witnessed.
Yeah, there was a big they called it the Ruskin Heights tornado because that was the neighborhood that it basically demolished,
So
and on the
scary.
high school, it took all the letters off the high school except for RUIN, ruin, and there's actual pictures of
What?
it before AI, so
Before AI?
yeah,
That is important to know.
yes.
Wow,
So,
that's kinda
yeah, it was before I
scary.
was alive, but
I don't like
yeah,
that.
it is scary, and, when we first moved into this house, there was a tornado, and it was on the Kansas side, but it hit Tonganoxie, and it went up,
Mhm,
and then it came down and, north of, the downtown area, north of North Kansas City even, but
mm. Yeah,
so
I don't love
it
a
does seem to be a thing. But it was kind of funny because I know we had talked about that recently, and then we, went out for dinner, and the bartender was talking about that yesterday, about the
really?
Tonganoxie split to other people. Casey was like, "See, I told ya."
That's funny. Oh my god, not made up.
No, I'd heard it before, but it was just I didn't think a lot of people knew it. I don't know.
Okay, you know what, I think everyone at this point has heard about?
What is that?
Well, all of the drama on Summer House, but the latest is the leaked audio from the reunion.
Yes. K I'm just gonna make an announcement here
Okay.
because Casey told me one of our previous shows where we were talking about the summer house drama, he's like, "Oh, I just fast forwarded through all of that." And so I just want to say, even
Wait,
if you don't watch reality TV, even if it's not a thing for you, we're not recapping the episodes. We're talking about how it applies in real life.
yeah,
So don't necessarily fast forward if you have no idea what Summer House is.
yeah,
If you aren't aware of the drama, just listen because you might actually find a connection here.
yeah. We don't
That's my PSA.
focus necessarily on the show and the happenings of the show, but how it translates kinda to real life.
Yes.
Yeah. Good call out. For a second, I was like, "Oh, what's this announcement I don't know about?" News to me.
He's not the only one who's told me that they fast forward through any of
Yeah,
uh, the real talk when we talk about reality TV. So,
yeah. That is a good point to make because I've heard that as well, yeah.
yeah.
Um, okay,
So
but
for those
yeah,
who don't know, Kyle Kyle and Amanda split. They were married. They have split. They've been split since October,
sure.
I think
Close
shortly
enough.
after the season wrapped and BravoCon and everything. And a lot of people don't believe they should have been together, that they were never really a great pair. They were married for 4 or 5 years, is that right?
I think 5 because same.
And because they're on reality TV, we all have an opinion because we saw the relationship. And it's not that I don't think they should have been married. I definitely saw the downfall occurring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think it's easy for viewers to say have an opinion one way or the other, and which most of them seem to be that they shouldn't have been married. But I think people need to realize and remember they film, what, a whole summer or at least, like, half of a summer. Okay, there's that chunk, but also they're only at the house on the weekends, maybe a couple extra days here and there. But then on top of that, we get, what, maybe 10 episodes a season? So, like, you cut it down more and more and more. Every episode is essentially covering the whole weekend. So, like,
Right.
how much do we really see and know? So, like, it's easy to have our opinions, but, like, you And just as in real life, when things go on with people, like, yeah, you may see what they share or what they tell or how they act and come across, but there's so much more that you don't see. So, I don't know, keep that in mind.
No, right. And so for those who don't watch, the big issue is Sierra and Amanda were great friends. In fact, Amanda did a interview where she credits Sierra for helping her survive the summer before her and Kyle decided to split. And Sierra, a couple of years ago, because they've had one summer apart, so it was 2 years ago, she shortly dated West. And this season, they decided to become friends. But then it came out that West and Amanda were dating, hooking up, whatever it is, which everybody was in a roar. And I was at first because I was just like, I saw Amanda as a friend and I just didn't see her being somebody who would do that as a friend.
Yeah.
So I was a little shocked by that. But now that I've like thought about it, I'm kind of changing my tune a little bit.
Yeah, I think we have kind of differing opinions here. Like, not complete opposites, but yeah.
I,
eh,
I think she broke girl code. Like, I
Yeah.
still don't think you
Well, and here's
date someone's ex, especially when you know the angst that that person has gone through
right.
about that. However, she is split from her husband.
She is.
She's moved out. She's been out for a
And
while.
as I would like to, on that side of things, since I've been through that, yeah, the process takes a long time. So
Yeah,
I do kind of side with Amanda there that, like, okay, she's moved out, they're separated. As far as those two people are concerned, like, it's done. Just
yeah,
because it has to go through the courts and that whole process, like, yeah, it takes a while to go through all of it and, like, legally make it done.
sure.
So I do side with Amanda on that for sure. That, like,
Yeah,
what, just because we're going through that process and it's not done, like, what, I just have to sit here?
correct. Yeah. I, I get why they thought they shouldn't say, like, why she thought they shouldn't say anything publicly. Cause she, in the leaked audio, she said, Amanda acknowledges that she knew Wes was dating two other people at the same time. So she was
Yeah,
like, I didn't know how serious this was going to be. I still think she probably should have talked to Sierra first and said, listen, I
absolutely.
think I'm having these feelings, or I did this last night and I know I really fucked up on this. And so now I almost feel like they better stay together now because I don't, I feel like their announcements have been missing a little something, but also like, I just,
Sorry, we just got another tornado warning.
I was like,
Yes.
you look like,
Well, I'm trying to, like, pay attention and listen, but also just watch where he's pointing this thing to, but we're fine. I don't even see where we are. It's fine, whatever. Um, we need to talk about
she's going
reality
down with
TV.
the, she's going down with the show.
Bye, guys. You'll see it here live. Don't cut that part out, Abby. Um, but no, I agree. Because okay, so this, in the leaked audio, you hear, I think, Amanda say, "You can't help who you get feelings for," or what, however she says it. Don't quote me, okay? But something to the effect of that. Um,
Mm,
and I agree with her there. You can't really help it. However, I'm gonna go on the opposing side and say, but you can help, like, how you go about your actions with those feelings. And, like, in my mind, that's, you go to see her right away. Because
right.
especially if you're that good of friends, it is, it makes my skin crawl to watch the show now, because the way that they both are crying to each other about their own separate things, and, like, the way that they are there for each other, that's, like, you both know what each other's going through, and especially what Amanda is, or Amanda knowing what Sierra's feeling with West.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have the feelings, okay, fine, but then go to Sierra. Like, how can you be that close to someone? And it's the same guy nonetheless. Like, go to
Yeah.
Sierra and be like, hey, I need to talk to you. Here's what's going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I was in a similar position, but now I was in high school. So
Hold on.
I'm going to clarify that I recognize this was high school.
Okay,
So
but also, how did we discuss this all weekend when I was at your house and you didn't bring this part up?
I honestly, I just, when you were talking about like two friends that were crying to one another and
Yeah.
like, then she didn't go to her. And I was just like, ding, that just reminded me that actually I was devastated at the time, but um, I just turned 16. So,
Okay.
um,
So share this as much as you want to or can.
oh, I'll share it all.
Okay, go ahead.
No names, but
Well, of course, yeah.
um, I was dating a guy. I really liked him. I mean, we were together. We were, I thought, exclusive.
Okay.
And I just had a really, I had a busy summer, but I was home on a lot of the weekends, but I was off doing things.
Yeah.
And I came back and I remember my mother told me that she had run into my boyfriend and my friend at the store or something.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause and ask a question. You
Mhm.
said you thought you were exclusive
Oh,
with
yeah,
this
like
guy?
we were.
You were. Okay, so he was your
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, keep going.
And she told me she'd run into him and my friend at the store. And this was
Mhm.
somebody that I thought was a very close friend. I was getting very close to her. I will note that she did have a little reputation of doing this, but I always try to see the best in
Yeah.
people. So yeah, so my mom told me that they she'd run into them together. I was like, "Oh, that's so nice." And then it was my birthday that weekend, I think, and they'd thrown me a surprise party my mom had, and they were there. And then the day after, he'd called me. We'd made plans to go out to celebrate my actual birthday together.
Mhm.
And then I was calling and talking to my friend who proceeded to say, "By the way, I while you've been gone, I've been dating your boyfriend and I really like him. Don't be mad at me." And here I
Huh?
was dumbfounded because I had just talked to him and made plans. They had just been to my surprise birthday party that weekend. Nothing was said. Then I find out that not only had they been going out while I was gone for 2 weeks, they had gone out with friends. So I had close friends that knew about it and didn't say anything to me because they were like, "Well, we wanted them to be the ones to tell you." But yeah, I got off the phone with her and proceeded to call him and said, "Is there something you think I should know?"
Did he say yes or was he like, "No?"
And he said, "I think you already know."
Oh,
Yeah, when exactly were you going to tell me this? At my
right.
birthday dinner tonight? Or he seemed to think that he could date us both. That's not happening. And also, she's no longer my friend.
I'm good. Good. So
And when it ended, let me just say that I took a little bit of joy in that.
do you care to elaborate or what do you mean?
I was not sad when I found out
Oh.
that they had broke up, and they broke up at
Oh, okay. I thought you
a
meant
basketball
when
game.
you guys ended. That's why I was like, "What did you do?"
No, I got to have a little bit of a pretty woman moment, which is, like, where you get to, like, be a little bit of a bitch, but you still have the upper hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they broke up right before the basketball. I don't know how it happened, but she came into the bathroom that I was in at this basketball game crying, and I handed her a tissue, and she was like, "Oh, thank you. I thought you were so mad at me you'd never talk to me again." I was like, "Oh, I'm still not talking to you. I just thought you could use a tissue."
I love it. Oh my god.
Bye now. I have shopping to do.
See ya. Oh my god. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, I think I was more devastated about the fact that they had gone out with friends who
Right,
I'd also seen who hadn't told me, and
right.
everybody was under the guise of, "Well, we told him he had to tell you."
I say that does put your friends in a hard position because I feel like I would feel the same, like, they should tell you, but also, like, okay, maybe tell them, like, you need to tell her now, and
Right?
then if he's not gonna do that, go be like, "Hey, you need to know this."
Yeah,
But yeah, that does for sure put them in a weird position.
yeah. So shame on him for putting people in a weird position. And I will say that, you know, it's not the only time that I know of that he's cheated. However, I do know him as an adult,
Mhm.
and he turned out to be a decent husband, so and
That's good.
father. So there's that. But clearly not my person, so,
No.
you know, guess the universe stepped in to let me know that.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic of your person, how did you know Casey was the one? Did you
I
have,
think
like,
it
a
was
moment or it's, like, a overtime thing?
oh, no, I knew pretty early on. I think it was more a moment. Like, I just had a feeling like, I think this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty early on. Date I'd say date 1, I knew it was different.
Oh,
Like,
wow, date 1.
it was just easy to talk to him,
Yeah.
you know, and it seemed like he was interested in some of the same things that I was. And we didn't have all of our interests together, but
Right.
it was just very easy to talk to him. It felt very natural to be with him,
Yeah.
and, well, you know, we had a great time together. So I knew it was different than any of the other dates and stuff that I had done.
Yeah.
How about you?
Clearly, I got it wrong, so I don't know that I should be giving that advice. I could tell you politely how I knew it was not the one anymore.
It's up to you.
Um, I had okay, so where to begin? So we were together 10 years, like, counting dating, married 5. I take it back, almost 5. We didn't hit 5 yet. Um, so, like, there's a lot of history and a lot that goes into it. There was not one specific moment that was, like, done over. There was a lot of buildup over time. There were a couple moments at the end where it was very clear to me that I was done, and I know I've said this in a previous episode, but I am someone who is okay to put all my information and business and experience out into the universe and out there. I don't care. But he's not like that. So I choose to honor that. But it makes it kind of hard to tell like because it's our experience, sure, but like also it's my experience. But there's a lot of things that I feel like I can't say like out of
Sure,
respect for that. You know what I mean?
sure.
So it makes it kinda hard to talk about in this format or this yeah, format? I don't know. Um, but yeah, there were a couple of things at the end where honesty is a big thing for me, which I think we've covered that multiple times too.
Yep,
Um, and I will clearly say this, there was not cheating. I'm not implying that. But there was just some things that there was not all the honesty with.
sure.
And then on my side too, there was a lot, especially at the end. There was a lot, like, all together. Um, and we'll get into it. We're gonna do a whole episode on it, so I don't wanna waste that much time, but there's a lot at the end where it was just very obvious things that it was like, morally? Not morally well, morally, I guess, and, like, just foundationally, maybe is a better word, that it's like, "No, this is not right." And I knew, something had to change too when I, like, went and talked to my mom about it because we're not a very emotional family in that way.
Mhm.
So, I knew when it was like, when I was to the point that I was talking to my mom about it, that it was not right anymore. And I also had, like, physical, not symptoms, but physical,
Ailments?
and that sounds extreme. I had it showed up physically for me too, that it was like, "This is not right for me anymore."
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, there was a lot, which we'll get into it more later. I don't wanna take all the time on this one.
yeah. But there
But
was
there
no
were
cheating.
some. No, there was not. And there was just very clear things. A lot happened in kind of a short amount of time, and it was just stuff that, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a big teaser, cliffhanger, whatever, that like the annoying thing where it's like, "I don't wanna talk too much about it," but we're gonna do it in a separate episode, so it's
Yeah,
coming, but we're not gonna waste all of this time on that.
yeah.
So, the crazy thing also is looking back. Okay, so I'm big on signs from the universe, right?
Mhm.
Looking back, the signs that I missed, that okay, I also wanna start with this before I go into this sentence too because whoa. I don't regret anything, right? Everything happens for a reason. Obviously, it was not meant to work out. What okay. I don't regret anything. I'm not saying this in that sense, but like looking back, the what we call like red flags now, the signs from the universe, however you want to put it, the things that I missed, I'm like, moral. But I do fully believe, like I said, like that was part of my story. I was meant to go through that. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I want, what I don't want. So like there I don't say that in a hateful like malicious way.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go back to cheating
Okay.
for a minute.
Okay.
Um, I say this because I realized when you were talking about the Amanda Sierra situation, I was kind of explaining about how I found out a friend, but I was still with the guy
Yeah.
at the time. So that makes it entirely different. And then also she chose to go on and now at least she waited until I was after I had ended things with this individual with the next guy, but then she had to go and date him too. So I was just like, get out of my life.
She
But
did it okay.
I would
Okay.
at least she waited till things were over that time. And that's where I think it's a little different with the Amanda Sierra situation in that they were not together. They had made it clear they were just going to continue as being friends. However, I do understand where Sierra would be upset that they were close. They did share a lot of information. They were there a lot for each other, and she didn't share that with her.
Yeah.
I understand Amanda and Wes not sharing it with the rest of the world, but I don't
Right.
understand not going to your friend.
I say I don't understand the friend thing, but also with sharing it with the world, like you guys know, especially in New York, like if you're gonna go out in public, you need to be
Mhm.
prepared to share it with the world. Like you
Yeah,
guys are not nobodies. Especially if you're going to bars, like that's kind of your demographic for the show. People are gonna see it, and it's
right,
whether you want to or not, it's gonna become everyone's business. And, like, does that
right.
kinda suck that you can't go out on a date and experience it and see what it is and if it becomes something? Yeah, but that's also just the reality of your life, like, you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I say that to say that I don't think they did anything wrong in dating each other. I
Yeah.
think it was a poor choice, but I don't think that morally it was wrong. And I
No.
think they're getting villainized by a lot of people. I think one, it makes for good ratings for the show. And so
Yeah.
I think it's kind of being overplayed a little bit from that perspective.
Yeah.
But two, I think sometimes we judge people harsher for things that we know we couldn't do, maybe. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I say expand. What do you mean?
We judge I think we're judging them harsher because we did have Amanda in a different category of not being able to do that. Does that make sense?
Like,
We're
we
not necessarily
expected
judging
different
them.
from
Yeah,
her?
we're not necessarily judging them for dating each other. We just
Yeah.
thought that
No,
Amanda,
yeah.
you just were with a douche. And
Yeah.
Wes doesn't have a good track record. I like him. I think he's funny. He's from, the Midwest. I
Yeah.
like that he's representing us, but also make better choices.
Yeah. I think yeah, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with those 2 people being together. I think they just handled it the absolute worst way they could have done it.
Yeah. It's people are comparing it to the Ariana, Tom Sandoval, and
Different.
Raquel, Rachel, whatever her name was.
Both. I think she started at Rachel, and then they said, "You're Raquel," or vice versa. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that one is different.
where they were legit cheating on each other.
Yeah.
They were both in other relationships. She was engaged still, wasn't she? Or had she broken it off with him?
I have no idea. I think they just got engaged, maybe, like, as it was happening, but that I don't know, that was a while ago, so, again, don't quote me on that. But also her and Ariana, which this does not make it right still, but, like, her and Ariana were not best friends the way Sierra and, Amanda are. So I'm like, "No, these
No.
are different things, guys. We can't compare the 2."
Yeah. Like I said, at least Amanda, she's gonna do it, did it when they were no longer together and she was no
Yeah,
longer with anybody either. So there really wasn't any cheating there. But
yeah.
on another note, I was on Instagram this morning
Mhm.
and I saw Steve McBee. Do you follow him at all?
No, because I don't follow any of them because I didn't want spoilers for the new season.
Oh, you should probably start
But
following.
I was gonna say, you tell me things here and there, and I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe I'll just go follow them."
He the post that I saw, he was apologizing for basically losing his shit
Okay, hold on.
after getting. Yep.
Is he not in prison? Or did he go to prison?
That's, the dad's in prison, yes. This is the
Oh, you're
oldest
saying
son.
they have the same name, right? Big Steve.
Mhm.
And oh my
Yep.
god. Okay, okay, go ahead. This
And
makes
maybe
much
they
more
call
sense.
one Steve, the other Steven, but I can never remember which is
Me
which,
neither.
so
This makes much more sense now, though. I was like, "Why do you
Junior.
care so much
We'll
about
call him
this?"
Junior. Junior
Okay,
McAbee,
okay.
did a post this morning apologizing for losing his shit and posting DMs that he had received about his current girlfriend, Allie, cheating on him at Stagecoach. So apparently they were down there together. I did see stories and stuff of them together throughout the weekend.
Mhm,
Apparently he had to leave yesterday to come home to uh, take care of business. I mean, they do have an active farm and cattle ranching and all that stuff.
mhm,
So he came home to take care of some business and he received a number of DMs with videos from people who were at Stagecoach while he had left his girlfriend and another person there. And she was very clearly with cheating on him with this man. Like they were holding hands, they were kissing, dancing very closely, grinding on one another, like things that aren't appropriate for
yeah.
somebody to be doing that has a boyfriend. And so he chose to apparently post these on his stories
Oh,
because
no.
when he called her to try and talk to her about it, she didn't answer his calls and then proceeded to tell him that she was still at a party when talked to him later. And he's like, dude, you won't even step out of the party to talk to me about this. Like,
Right.
I have video of it. Like, it's clearly you.
Yeah.
And he was like, while she's made poor choices, I used to think she was a good person. And I shouldn't have put it on blast like I did. However, he was like, I know I'm not easy to date. And he's like, so I apologize for putting this on blast. But I was, I did think this was my person. And clearly I was wrong about that. So I'm like, I don't I feel like these days, especially if you're someone he's a Bravo celebrity.
Yeah.
So if you're with a Bravo celebrity and she's a influencer.
Yeah, so,
So
like,
it's
you're gonna
like,
be known.
right? People are going to know who you are. And everybody has a camera in their pocket these days.
Mhm.
And
Not
they know who you're dating.
I say
So,
it's not in their pocket, it's out ready to go.
well, and he made the point. He goes, as soon as I did it, I knew it was wrong. And he goes, but I also knew it was out there that I couldn't actually
Right.
delete it. Even if I went in and deleted it, somebody would have screenshot it or what have you. And he's absolutely right.
Yeah,
Like once you put something out there these days, it's out there.
yeah. And again, not that this makes it right, but, like, him sharing it, like, other people, had it on their pages and stuff too. It was out there. So,
Yeah.
again, is it right that he blasted it? No, but, like, if she didn't want it out there, it's out like, don't do it.
Yeah.
You're known.
It's, I feel like cheating is so common.
It is. There
Have you been
is,
cheated on?
this,
You don't have to name when, just yes or no.
no, well, it's like, technically, I guess, no, we were not, like, technically together, but we were together type of situation, So,
Yeah.
like, yes, but no, no, but yes,
Were
depends
you
on
on
how
a
you look
break?
at it. No, 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 we weren't on a break. It was
So that
un
sounds like yes to me then.
it was unofficially official is what it was called, and then made official a couple weeks later, and then I
Because
didn't
of the other girl?
know, I guess, and then I didn't know until a couple months later.
Huh? Say that again?
We were unofficially official.
You were unofficially broken up.
No, we weren't official before that.
Oh,
So we were, like, unofficially official, like, everyone thought we were together.
got you.
We were essentially together, but the title just wasn't there.
Okay.
Unofficially official. Then a
Okay.
couple weeks after it had happened, I guess, it was made official. I didn't know it happened, and I didn't find out it happened until maybe a couple months later.
Okay.
So, like, a very, very gray area of yes, no, no, yes. I don't know.
Have you ever cheated on someone?
No.
Me neither. I could
Mm-mm.
never.
No.
The guilt would just eat me away.
Yeah. I no.
Have you ever been the other woman?
No.
I almost was, but as soon as I found out, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not here for that.
Yeah. No. I will say, though, my whole gray area, it felt like a yes. So, like, in my mind, yes, but I don't know. The technicalities are what they are. I don't know. It's up for debate.
Whether or not you've been cheated on?
Yeah. If you asked me, I would say yeah, but
I'd say if you have to question it,
right,
that it's
and if
probably
you
a
have to go
yes.
into as much detail as I just did to answer the question, probably yes. But, you know, I also don't wanna be like the little crying victim, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll admit there's, like, the technicality gray area that there is, but it felt like it, so my answer would be yes.
yeah. I'll say I've seen it from all sides. I've seen the damage that it can do. I know how I felt, even though I was in high school, and I didn't know that. It's not like I thought he was the person I was going to marry and be with forever or anything like that. It's certainly why things ended, though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I, knowing that feeling, seeing other people that I love and care about have to go through, that it's tough. And so that's why, like, I do want to, I do think people are being a little too hard on Wes and Amanda because they didn't cheat on anybody, as far
Yeah.
as I know.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think trying to say that Amanda, because she wasn't fully divorced yet, which was part of that Lake Daddio,
They just put
just
us under another tornado warning. Sorry, keep going. This is exhausting to keep up with what's going and oh my god. Keep going.
if you suddenly drop down, we'll know you're taking cover.
At this point, I'll watch it go by. Um, it's sunny now, so, like, it's also
Oh, that's not good.
whatever. It's fine. Oh, it's not good?
No, I don't think it's good.
Well,
Usually they say the sunnier it is before a storm, the worse the storm is going to be, and then the more the
perfect.
chances of tornadoes.
Sirens aren't going off, so
Like the Joplin tornado, it was a
yeah,
sunny day. So that's why nobody thought anything was happening.
great.
Sorry, not to
Alright,
scare
well,
you.
I mean, you know what? I have mellowed out a lot. I think really kinda since going through the divorce because I just realized, like, it is what it is. You know, like
What's meant to be will be.
well, I'm like, it's kind of out of my like, well, okay, especially a tornado is out of my control. But, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'll worry about it when it happens. Well, hopefully hold on, hopefully it doesn't happen, but, like, should it happen, I'll worry about it then, you know? But this is just confusing because they keep changing our colors on the map and then one warning in a different whatever. It's confusing, but sorry.
They're just coloring. They're messing with you.
Literally, that's what it looks like, how fast it's changing.
The weather people yesterday made the comment. They're like, "We know we were just telling everybody that to go downstairs the other night. Like, we don't, you know, these can touch down at any minute. These are radar indicated
Yeah,
um, rotation.
yeah,
It's a hard word. Um, so we don't want you to like not go downstairs because we just told you this last week. Like these are serious storms. There are rotations or whatever. And I get it. Like sometimes I feel like we do get what's the right word here? Numb
yeah,
when something's repeated again and again, especially in the news.
yeah, and like you're saying earlier, how these have felt like almost every single
Hmm.
day.
Yeah, it's like every other day, it feels like we're having another severe weather alert and possible tornadoes. And I always know it's serious when I go to the gas station and I see the storm chasers parked in the parking lot. I'm like, oh,
That's terrifying.
they're really expecting us to get something here.
Oh my god.
Guess I should get home.
Right? No, that's scary. Would you ever chase a tornado?
Mm-mm. No, I'm terrified of them. After, and like I said, we saw it. We pulled over when we did because we didn't want to drive
Yeah,
into its path. So
yeah,
we saw it from afar. I never want to go through that again.
yeah.
And I
Um,
do remember it was a sunny day that day. We'd been out on the lake
yeah,
having fun, and we left when we did because they wanted to get. I mean, we knew storms were coming. They wanted to get ahead of the storms,
yeah,
and there were a bunch of tornadoes that night. There was some by our house closer in Kansas City, and so that wasn't the only tornado we came across that night. That was the only one that we were that close to, though. But ever since then, I it's not that I'm not terrified to the point where I'm can't leave my house kind of a thing.
I say I don't wanna leave my house because I don't want my car to get hail damage,
Yeah, no, that's
but
different. Like, I used to right after that. I mean, because I was a young kid, so right after that, even when there was a tornado watch, I would
yeah,
go to the basement
yeah,
after that for years and
that's
years.
fair. Yeah,
I'm over that anxiety level with
yeah,
it, but it is something I do watch and keep an eye on and take seriously.
yeah,
Now, I was a little confused. There was a storm a couple weeks ago on a Friday, and they were predicting severe weather, and we did have severe weather that night. But all these people, I went to the grocery store just because I had guests coming into town, so I wanted to make sure I had some food on hand. And the store was packed, and people were acting like it was a snowstorm. Like, guys, you don't need to come in here and buy a bunch of groceries if your house is gonna get blown away. Like, it's also going to take all the groceries you just purchased.
Right.
And also there's a higher chance of you not having power after one
To
of these
right,
than
like,
a snowstorm.
that's crazy.
So don't come stock up before the tornado. I was just amazed. I mean, I've never seen the grocery store that packed when it wasn't a snowstorm or, like Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Holiday was coming. So it was kind of funny.
that's that is crazy.
Yeah, but that was one that they had predicted well in advance. They said it was probably gonna be a crazy weather day, and it was. It did hit just like they said it was going to. They got that one right.
Yeah,
And about the areas they said it was going to, too. And I think there was a tornado or two that did touch down that night.
yeah. Um, okay, because we keep bouncing back and forth all over.
This is gonna be a hell of a one
Oh
to
my god.
edit.
I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna do too much. Have fun, you guys. Keep up, okay? Okay, well, we
Stay with me,
did
stay with me.
no, literally, stay alive. Isn't that what they say? Stay alive, people. Um, okay, so we did
Now
ask.
you know what it's really like to be in our friendship.
Correct. Correct. This is it. To a T. Okay, we did ask on our social media pages today. We gave a little, we'll say spoiler alert, that these are the topics we were gonna talk about. So we had people submit questions if they had tips, experiences, what have you. So we have a couple questions. Do we want to go through them real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one, are people too quick to leave relationships now or not quick enough?
Mm, both.
I kind of agree.
You know, it's kind of interesting, and I don't know if it's just maybe my age, like where I am in life, but I have heard of a number of people that have been married for like 40 plus years
Yeah.
that are getting divorced this year. I know
Really?
three right offhand that I've heard of or know personally just this year. And I'm like, after 40 some odd years, don't you think you would have figured out that you didn't want to be with this person? You've spent 40 some odd years married together.
Okay, so that I have questions, follow-up questions on behalf of the person who asked. I'm gonna guess maybe they would think these. I don't know, maybe not. But these are my questions. Okay, so if they're in that situation, do you think that or do you know? I don't know. And obviously you don't have to go into like specific people's business, whatever. But like midlife crisis is always a big thing. Or I know a lot of people stay together until like kids are older
Hmm.
or they just have, which I guess kind of falls under like midlife crisis, but they just have this like moment where they're like, I want to go do these things. And like they realize their interests just are not like the other person doesn't, they're content. They don't want to go, this is a kind of morbid way to say it, but like they don't want to go finish their life.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in one case, it was the kids were finally grown and finally all out of the house, and I guess they realized they didn't like each other that much, or
Yeah.
they didn't have anything to talk about. The other two, I think sometime one did involve a family tragedy, and I think that can make or break you, definitely.
Yeah.
The other one was it was something that had been a problem, and the entire family decided to address it, and
Oh,
not necessarily give an ultimatum, but then
wow.
one of the people was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm out. I'm going on my own."
Wow.
And it
Okay.
wasn't alcoholism or drugs or anything like that. Like it wasn't anything that serious, which is kind of but it was, it was serious enough for them to address it or whatever. But,
Yeah.
I do think sometimes that people get comfortable
Mhm.
in a relationship, and if there's not a huge issue, then there's no need to upset the apple cart, so to say.
Mhm.
And I think it's those people who, when are put to trial, maybe in terms of there's something that happens in life, in their personality and what have you, where finally they do realize this isn't like this isn't I want a little bit of happiness in my life and I'm just really unhappy
Yeah.
kind of a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I also think that like some of my friends, especially if they're not married,
Mhm.
maybe leave people too quickly. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that maybe they're wrong in that.
Yeah. No, I, perhaps was told or I know things have been said about me, maybe not directly to my face, but I know they've been said, where my stuff happened pretty quick. And correct, it did, but also, like, if you know, you know. I don't know how
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, thankfully, I got the hint fast. So, like, before it got really messy, like, we don't have kids, so it
Okay.
was a pretty clean, easy break. But, like, thankfully, I kind of caught on to things and knew, like, for what I wanted to be and how I wanted to live the rest of my life, that's kinda what I had to do.
Right.
So, yeah, it happened quick and apparently to some people too quick, but,
You know,
I don't know.
I think the latter happens way more often where people stay because they're comfortable or because they're worried about what other people will think.
Yeah.
And that's not generally the right reason to stay with somebody. And so when you know, and when you don't, you don't.
As mic drop. Um,
I wondered if you're going to pick that one. I was
of
like, she
course.
best get this one.
Of course. No, I think yeah, I think if you're in any sort of that area, you have to quiet the noise around you. Whoa. Quiet the noise around you because everyone's gonna have an opinion. And as we
Okay.
talked about earlier, even your closest you don't even know all the stuff that went on between us.
Right.
No one knows everything, all the details. So it's like everyone's going to have their opinion, but the only person who can really know and make that decision is you. So you have to
Right.
you can talk to other people about it, you can get their opinions, sure, but like you have to I think also take a minute to like shut it all down, shut it all out and be like what do I want? What do I need? And like what do you feel in your gut? And you even though it's scary, you have to do it. Or maybe it's not scary, maybe it is you stay and do something or don't do I don't know. But,
Yeah.
like, you have to just feel it, like, in yourself and go with it. And it could change down the road, whatever. But, like, I think you just need to quiet it all out for a minute and, like, ask yourself.
Well, and I think let's talk about Kyle Richards and Mauricio.
Yeah.
Like, she hasn't filed for divorce yet, and
How
she
long
said this
have they been
season
separated?
2 years
Has it been
now,
that long?
and we don't know, they haven't come out and said exactly what happened other than there was infidelity, I think
There
it
was?
was. I think she said she didn't say no. I
As I
think it was
can't keep up
asked
with all of
on a re
it.
yeah, I think it was asked on a reunion, and she didn't say no.
Okay.
She just didn't really answer it. So she kind of alluded to that there was, but we don't know if it was her or if it was Mauricio because we know that she very quickly moved on into her relationship that she wasn't allowed to talk about,
Yeah.
that everybody knew about.
Yeah.
So it's different,
Yeah.
I think, which also something that was addressed on that show that I thought was interesting this season is when there are others. So that her, Dorit, and
Erica?
Rachel.
Oh,
So their
so they're
spouses started dating other people.
okay, yeah.
And like it became, public knowledge how hard that was to deal with
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for at least Kyle and Mauricio, Kyle hasn't entirely she has said that she was with someone, but then she also chastised Mauricio for getting caught kissing other women and,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and it's like, just because you didn't get caught by the paparazzi doesn't mean you didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, that's always seemed odd to me.
Okay, this is a funny question. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
Somebody wants to know if we think, is it okay to go through your partner's phone?
Yeah.
Ooh, I have a hot one here. Um, yes and no. If they give you a reason to go through it, you got to do what you got to do. But if they don't give you a reason, no. Like,
I was gonna say,
I don't
I'd
know.
gladly hand my phone over, look away, I've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So I think it's telling if you, like, say, like, "Can I see your phone?" and they won't let you see it, like, what don't you want me to see?
All right. So,
And why are you doing anything that you don't want me to know about?
let me tell you a story. One time, someone gave me a reason to look at their phone, so I could have snuck on there one night. And let me confirm, my intuition is strong. There was a reason that I needed to go look at that phone.
I would say, did you go look at it?
Uh-huh. And I found things. Yep.
What kind of things? Like pictures,
Yeah.
texts
Pictures. Yep.
of that person and another person?
No, just of other people.
Mm.
Mhm.
That they were sending, we're gonna say, to him.
Mhm. So that's why I'm like 50-50. Like, I wouldn't just go do it. But
No.
like, if you're gonna put me in a situation where I feel that uneasy, that I feel like I need to,
Yeah.
I'm 100% on my streak so far. It's only happened the one time, but like, if I feel in my like, if I've got the intuition like there's something going on, and you're kind of putting me in that situation that I need to go look, then I'm gonna go look. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna call this the detective role. If you won't let me do something, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna question why
Right.
even more.
Right.
Now, I think I could be crazy enough. I've never tracked anybody, like, I've never put a tracker on the car or anything like that,
No.
but I'm not above it.
I don't think I would ever go to that level. If I go okay, here's the thing. I feel like if I got to that level, you'd already be gone. Like,
Right? Right.
no.
I'm just saying, like, I think I could be a detective, and so, luckily, Casey, I'm not talking about you because I think in our relationship is open enough that I would just ask him if I thought he was up to no good.
Yeah.
I I do make him uncomfortable sometimes because I will have dreams that he's cheating on me, and I will kind of be mad at him when I wake up because it's like, "How dare you do that in my dream?"
Yeah. The
Um,
audacity.
yeah, but he's actually been cheated on before too, and so it's both of us know the feeling of what it feels like to be cheated on,
Yeah.
and so I don't think either of us is capable of doing that to the other person, but now there have been times where, like, we'll be driving or whatever, he'll be driving and he'll get a text, and he won't read it, and he won't want me to read it, and I'm like, "Why don't you want me to read this text?"
Right. What's on there,
Now,
sir?
I know who it's from because I saw it or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's just generally that it's just a bunch of guys being dumb,
Guys.
not
I was
not
like,
another female that he's trying to.
oh, right. Also, one thing about me, if I feel like something's off, I'm just gonna say it and ask you too. So like, I'm gonna give
Yeah,
you the opportunity. If you're not
yeah,
gonna just straight tell me, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to say something or do something about it first. I'm not just gonna immediately go look at your stuff.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm
yeah,
not against it if it
above
gets to that.
I'm not above looking, I'm not above doing some investigative work.
Yeah.
There's a couple of
Some
people.
investigative.
Yup, sometimes. it's necessary. If you're gonna
Oh
lie to
my
my
god.
face, then maybe I need to go get my pictures and my receipts
Oh my god.
to know that I'm not crazy. But I
Yeah.
do know people that have actually found out about like, they had no idea that anything was going on and found out that there was somebody else from a phone, and it
Yeah.
was an accidental
Yeah.
in both cases,
Yeah.
so
Mine was not accidental. I knew something was going on, so I went looking, but confirmed. Thank you. Okay,
man, I
another
guess I
question.
was lucky. My friend just came right out and told me.
So, I mean, yeah, I would like, okay, yeah, if there's something going, just tell me. It's
Yeah.
it's the Amanda and Sierra of it. Like, just come to me and tell me. I'm gonna have a hell of a lot more respect for you if you do that
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah. And that's where Amanda went wrong, and it should have been
100%.
Amanda that went to Sierra and had the conversation.
Although, you know what? After we saw this last episode where Sierra and West are like friends again or whatever, I'm
Mhm.
like, it's kind of on you too. Like, I think
Mm,
not as much as Amanda, but I'm like,
yeah.
you got both of you hell had the opportunity to do something about it, and
Yeah.
neither one of you chose to. So that's crazy. But
I think it should have been Amanda on her own
yeah,
saying, "Listen, this happened last night. I have
I
no
agree.
idea what it means. I wanted you to hear it from me first. I know he's with other people. I don't know that we're gonna be that close."
I agree. Okay, we have another question.
'Kay.
Do you think do people really change in relationships? Do people
Mhm.
I was like,
Yes.
um, I kind of read it different the first time, but yeah, can confirm.
Yes, I think people change. I think as we get older, we experience more things.
Mhm.
We learn more about ourselves and what we
Mhm.
want. We
Bingo.
definitely change.
Yeah.
I think that if you aren't changing, I'd question that even more.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because I think we've touched on this before too. Like, you're supposed to grow and evolve in life. So if you're
Yeah.
not, and like if you don't have an interest in bettering yourself or like doing things, I'm not interested in that. Thank you. Like, what?
Yeah,
I
and I
don't
and I
know.
think it's the same with friendships too. I mean, I don't think you grow out of friendships, but I think, some friends are there for a purpose, for a reason, a season, however
Yeah.
you want to say it. And then, sometimes you outgrow that. And it's not to say that that person can't come back into your life,
Yeah.
but, my friendships have definitely changed, especially as life has happened. And, some have kids and that becomes the priority, but, they've come back,
Yeah.
or our friendship evolved to something different, than just what it was. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it always has to end.
No. Do you know what's crazy is the amount of people that when I was going through my divorce, they were like, "Oh, well, if you guys are meant to be, you'll get back together later in life." And I'm like, mm, respectfully, don't see that happening, but thank you.
Well, we're not, which
Right.
is why we're getting divorced.
Right. It's like, well, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah. Yeah.
And I think now this question is so hard when you don't know what's behind it. Because also, like you say, can people change? I think, yes, they can change. So, like, if somebody's cheated, does that make them a cheater?
I was gonna say there's
No.
that famous line of once a cheater, always a cheater.
I say no to that. However, if somebody's done it multiple times in
Yeah.
terms of different people time and time again, and then I don't think that person's going to change from that.
Yeah.
Like, they are a cheater. I don't think cheating once makes you a cheater.
Yeah.
Does
What
that
a
make sense?
Yeah, but what about your boyfriend? Oh, wait, no, it was the girl who was it the girl or the guy who did it multiple times or both?
Both, actually.
But now he's good, right?
Yeah.
Do I need to cut that out?
Well, he's dead.
Oh,
But he was good.
oh
He
my god.
was married
Abby.
for a while before he died, and I think faithful to her.
You think what?
I think he was faithful to her.
Oh. I'm like,
He's
do
no
you
longer
know
with
some
us.
I was gonna say, do you know something that's, like, not public knowledge and you don't wanna rat him out? Or nope, not that.
I do know for a fact that he cheated on, well, not his ex-girlfriend because it was my friend, but he did cheat on future girlfriends after me.
Yeah,
However, he did get married, became a dad, and I believe was a very good person at that point. So maybe he was just young and stupid and immature. Again, we were in high school, so
yeah.
very well could be.
You
16
know
years old.
I say you know that saying, right?
What saying?
"They're young, dumb, and full of cum."
Oh, I didn't know that saying,
You
but
never heard that?
no.
That was actually an excuse given to me at one point. "Sorry, I'm young, dumb, and full of cum." And I was like,
Oh, well, isn't that
"Wow,
lovely?
what a"
So I do think people, yeah, they can change, but I think they have to make a conscious effort to change.
Yeah, and I think the change can go in both ways. They can change for the better, and they can also change, like, downhill change.
And I think too often people think they can change someone.
Mhm.
And I'm a firm believer when somebody tells you who they are or shows you who they are, believe them.
As I sh
And
when they
I've
show.
come, yeah, I've come to learn, accept that I cannot change other people. I can only change myself. And are there things that people do that drive me crazy that I was like, man, if they just didn't do this one thing, they'd be perfect.
Yeah,
Take
and
Casey, for example. No, I'm kidding. He's shaking in his boots right now as he's listening to this.
that's hilarious. Um,
Trust me, he knows 1,000% what my irritations are with him because I tell him.
I would say you will tell him. Um, Also on the note of change, yeah, I think it doesn't have to be a good change or a bad change necessarily. It can be like a what?
A
It can just be a
slow
change.
migration?
No, it can just be a
Yeah.
change. Like, as you were saying, you go through life, you experience things, you learn better about yourself, whatever. And that's part of what happened with us is I kind of changed my mind on some things of what I wanted and didn't want. And it
Yeah.
was things that he absolutely wanted. So it
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be necessarily good or bad, but it's just as you go through and learn things. Yeah. It
Yep.
can be like a not a stagnant change because that's like counterintuitive. What words am I saying right now?
I don't know.
Lots of biggies. um, but no, it can just be a change in direction and the
Yep.
path. Oh,
Yeah, I am not the same person today that I was, especially when I married Casey, but
no,
I'm far more perfect now.
same.
But
Good luck to whoever wants me. No, I'm just kidding. No. Yeah.
pleasantly perfect in every way.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if there's anything I missed. Okay, there is one more good one. Should we do it?
Sure.
Okay. Um, have either of you gone well, LOL. Have either of you gone through a rough patch? How did you know that it was just a rough patch versus the end?
Yes, absolutely. We are not perfect, and we have had a lot of really rough
I was
patches.
I think everyone goes through at least some sort of rough patch at some time, but yeah, let's hear yours. And what
I mean, we've just we've gone through a lot in life together, a
yeah.
lot of loss and also changes in who we are and kind of what we believe. But I think what has kept us together and makes us good is that we talk about things.
Yeah.
We don't let them fester. Um, we, I, Casey would probably like me to not share everything that I'm thinking when I'm thinking it, but I do. If he's doing something that's really bothering me or setting me off, I am not afraid to stop him and say, like, hey, you need to have, a little bit more respect or, just think
Almost just
about
like
me in these
awareness.
situations. Oh, yeah, awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, like, I've said before, there were times when he was complaining about being tired, and it happened to be when like we were together doing things. He was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm just so tired. I don't want to go out and do this. I don't want to go out and do this." And I was starting to resent him golfing
Mhm.
because it always seemed like he found the energy to do those things, but when it came to hang out with me or what have you, then we couldn't because he was tired or,
Right.
what have you. And so, I just shared that with him. And I just said, listen, I'm really starting to resent this because this is what it feels like when you are with me. These are the things you're saying to me.
Mhm.
And you don't ever skip a chance to golf, yet you're asking me not to schedule things or do things because you're tired. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
so the fact that we can have those conversations and be open and honest with each other about how we're feeling and it not end in an argument,
Yeah.
I think is the key.
So do you this has nothing to do with relationships, but when you got well, I guess kind of, but when you guys do have any sort of argument like that where you need to have a conversation,
Mhm.
do you are you the kind of person that wants to go into that conversation right away? Or do you need to go like breathe and cool off a minute, go think things through and just like have a minute? Or
It
what do you do?
Yeah, it depends on what it's about, and I will say that earlier in our marriage, I probably had to go away and think about things, like, we haven't always been that good at having these kinds of conversations and sharing everything, so, like, before I probably did go away and think about things and then come back and share my feelings or what have you.
Yeah.
We've had some shouting arguments, of course. I think everybody does in their marriage at some point,
Yeah.
but again, we were still talking,
Yeah.
and so I think that's the key difference is that when the conversation stops happening,
Mhm.
that's usually when I see things take a turn.
Yeah.
How about you?
How about me what?
I forgot what the question was now.
Oh, rough the rough I'm like, "What do you want?" The rough patch versus the end. Yeah, just what I said earlier. It was, we had a lot of rough patches, like, back to back to back to back, and, like, those felt different. It's when things, just, like, foundationally were not
Mhm.
right, and, yeah, I could tell physically, I felt it in my gut, um it's kinda hard to put into words, but, like, I
Yeah.
just knew it wasn't the right place for me anymore. And honestly, I don't think it was like, I think both of us, it was not it anymore, you know? I think we both
Yep.
needed to well, you know what? Clearly we did because we both ended up wanting different things. But even besides that, I think we just were not, like, okay, I think part of being in a relationship is, like, you not challenge each other, but, like, you kinda push each other to be better, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think because we wanted different things and had, like, different goals and stuff, I just don't think we were even doing that for each other too. So, like I said, there's a lot.
I think too, you said something about challenge each other to be better.
Yeah.
I think you're also that person's cheerleader.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't ever feel like you're in competition with your spouse.
Right. And you shouldn't also do the opposite of support them.
Yep.
Hee hee.
Mic drop.
Period.
"Okay, we gone."
What'd you say?
I said, "Okay, we gone."
Yeah, that's it. Bye. No.
On that note, bye. Ta-ta.
Well, on that note, we're gonna
No.
get into it deeper.
Yes.
Um, and we're gonna have a bonus episode this week because oh my god, wait, hell, this is like how we partially how we got onto this whole topic. This episode drops Wednesday the 29th, and that's my 1 year mark that I've legally been divorced. So,
It's been a
which
big year.
it has. And it's like kind of a joke because sometimes it annoys my mom that I make jokes about it, which I get, but also I'm like, what do you want me to do? Just cry all the time? Like, I'm gonna make jokes and like be lighthearted about it because what's the
That's who you
alternative?
are.
Well, that too. But also like I'm not just gonna go sit in a corner the rest of my life and be sad about it. Like, no. But one of my like I joke one of my greatest flexes as a Swiftie is her song where she says, "Do you really want to know where I was April 29th? My divorce date?" Mic
I
drop
was at the
that.
courthouse.
Right. And that my mom, when I told her that, she's like, "Did you seriously choose that for that reason?" And I'm like, "No, mom, like the court gives it to you." She's like, "Oh my God."
You're like, "I just decided it was a sign from the universe."
Well, I mean, it chose me. What can I say? But yeah, so this is my 1 year divorce anniversary. So we're gonna get into the deeper conversation of it all.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
On that note, ta-ta for now. We'll see you later this week.
Ciao tutti.